Welcome to the Rare History Channel. A very evil man from history no one talks about. He makes Hitler look like a rookie. When we think of evil people in history, we often think of characters like Hitler, or Stalin, or Vlad the Impaler. We don't normally think of Leopold II of Belgium. Yet over the course of his rule, it's estimated that he is responsible for the deaths of anywhere from 1 to 15 million people. And in particular to those people were the Congolese, who were subject to Leopold II's, and in general Europe's, ruthless colonialism. Biography and background. Leopold II was the second king of Belgium, succeeding the title from his father Leopold I, and ruling for 44 years from 1885 to 1908. Domestically, Leopold too early on was quite popular. His reign was marked by a number of great buildings, urban projects, and other public works he commissioned. He was even popularly known as the Builder King. Also, a number of great social reforms were enacted during his rule. He saw the passing of labor union laws, child labor laws, and etc. But perhaps what Leopold II was most known for domestically was his leadership during the Franco-Prussian War. During such a time of danger and uncertainty, Leopold II was able to preserve Belgian neutrality, along with reforming and improving Belgium's military and defense. For example, in 1887 he was able to convince Parliament to finance the fortifications, defenses, at the key cities Liege and Namur. Domestically, Leopold II was a solid. But in terms of foreign affairs, not so much. Belgium, or specifically Leopold's, imperialism. Leopold II was a firm believer in that a country's greatness was strongly correlated to its overseas colonies. He envisioned Belgium one day being a mighty empire, and worked hard to acquire territory. However, the rest of the Belgian government saw colonies as only an extravagance, something that would be of little use to them as Belgium had no navy. But Leopold II was determined and unfazed, even if he didn't have the support of the government. So first, at around 1876, Leopold II hired explorer Henry Morton Stanley to travel and explore the Congo territory. There, Stanley journeyed along the Congo River basin, setting up trading posts, building roads, and negotiating treaties with local chiefs on behalf of Leopold II. Then in 1884 at the Berlin Conference, under the excuse of bringing civilization and the benefits of Christianity to the African natives, the other European powers granted Leopold II 770,000 square miles of land to do basically whatever he wished. It was to be his own personal colony/property. He named his territory the Congo Free State. Rubber and the hidden Holocaust. When Leopold II discovered an abundance of materials such as ivory and especially rubber within Congo, his rule quickly turned for the worse. At the time, a worldwide rubber boom had made the material very lucrative. However, rubber trees really only grew in the tropics, and it could take years for them to be ready for harvest. But in the Central African rainforests, one plant called the Landolphia vines, which contained lucrative amounts of rubber, was found, and there was no more of it than in Leopold II's territory. With his 19,000-men private army, Leopold II began to force the local Congolese natives into hard labor and onto rubber plants. Soldiers would take a village's women as hostages, and force the men to gather a monthly quota of rubber. If the villages failed to meet their rubber quotas, they were often beaten and whipped. But in particular was the notorious punishment of chopping off limbs. Soldiers would routinely mutilate and cut off hands, oftentimes taking it as a personal trophy. The women hostages starved to death, while the men were worked to death. Children were kidnapped from their parents and transported to child colonies to train as soldiers. If villages rebelled, they were brutally suppressed and burned to the ground. With the women as hostages and men in rubber plants, there were few left to hunt or build shelters. This made the Congolese vulnerable to disease and famine. All in all, from direct killings, disease, and famine, anywhere from 1 to 15 million people died from Leopold II's ruthless exploitation. That's around 50% of Congo's population at the time. Legacy and impact. Leopold II's ways were so cruel that even other European leaders began to call him out for it. Rumors and later truth spread when missionaries and then British journalist Edmund Dean Morel exposed the regime. As a result, Belgium Parliament forced Leopold to give up the territory to control of the Belgian government. They did in 1908, and ruled until 1960 before Congo officially became independent and established itself as the Republic of Congo. Much of Leopold II's atrocities remained untalked about, until the recent 2020 racial unrest. Just as in the US, Belgians began looking into their past as well. They began calling attention to the cruel colonialism, looking to change their view. They began looking to the ways they remember history, in particular the many statues of Leopold II, calling for their removals. But removing statues can only go so far. Matter of fact, why did it even take this long for them to remove the statues? Why were the statues even constructed in the first place?